Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexander of InvestGlass, and it's a pleasure to have you today for a webinar around fund sales. So obviously, we'll see also InvestGlass CRM basics, but here the idea is to focus on how to sell financial instruments to a prospect or a client. So thank you very much for following this webinar. We're gonna just first start and focus on the way the CRM is built. This is quite important because when you get new leads into InvestGlass, you want to make sure they appear in the right places. So let's start now. So this is the basic InvestGlass page. So how do we do this? Well, first we can create a new lead by clicking here on the new contact. All right, I'm going to create a new prospect, Christophe Weber. We can also add his email address. And we can add a relationship manager. Note that you can have a relationship manager as well as a portfolio manager and an assistant. This is very helpful for different reasons. For example, you have a colleague offering the actual farming, or you have another team doing the trading desk, and you want to make sure that this specific client is properly linked to another contact than just yourself. Here I'm going to put that it's a lead or prospect. So this is with the tags. We'll show you in another webinar how to create tags. Tags are very helpful because they're going to help you to categorize clients based on their interests, but also things they don't want to hear about. So perhaps this customer doesn't want to hear about, let's say, cryptocurrencies. Right. Institutional, corporate. It's a lot of tags, but it's a nice way to customize the experience we'll deliver later on to this specific client. You will see the more tags you put, the better the information will be, the more, I would say, specific it will be. So let me save this. Okay, so we created a new lead. Now we want to link this person to a company. So how do we do this? You click here on Edit KYC. You also can find it here in Actions, and you have a lot of fields. Some people will say we have too many fields. That's a good point. So if you want to focus and to have your sales team focus on fields that are meaningful, the way to do it is to prepare the minimum required fields. We call this the mandatory fields into the CRM. To set up those fields, go to My Account, then Company. And here in the bottom, you will find Settings. And from the setting page, you can actually decide which fields are going to be mandatory. Here you have a drop down with all the fields. You just add them. For example, if I want to add country of domicile, and here I click on Add, and then I click on Save. And you'll see this is very helpful because there are a lot of tricks later on to actually help your sales team focus on those fields that are needed. So let me find back Christophe Weber. Okay. And now if I put my mouse on, InvestGlass is going to highlight that those fields are actually missing. All right. So I'm going to put all those informations and also link this contact to a company. So I'll go back here to Actions and here Edit KYC. And you find here a very helpful button, Show Mandatory Fields. So why are we putting again the client's name? Well, because the machine helps also to put on only pseudonym. Key information are very important because it will be presented, you will see, in a very strategic place. Usually it's used to summarize the client's or the prospect top priority in terms of expectations. Then here I found the domicile. I can put the phone number. I can put the country too. and then we're gonna, all right, so now it's the company part. So we have companies, but I don't find this company. So I'm gonna click on new company. And I can also add the address. So what's very nice is that all the new leads connected to this company will receive this information directly into the CRM. So you don't need to type it twice. All right, perfect. Fantastic, and I'm gonna save it. All right, and save. So you see now we have no more indicator because all the KYC fields have been properly answered, and this lead has been connected to a company, BCGE. So I can click on the link, and here I will find all the members. There's only one member for now. What is also very interesting is once you link this member to this company, you have new possibilities, which is to inform the power of attorney and the type of authorizations you have. Let me click now on edit, and you will find on the bottom of this relation company page the power of attorney and the type of authority. Okay. Also, as you find here, this address Quai de Lille, Geneva, will be directly into the client CRM. So that's very helpful if you wish to add some, I would say, information for the company and you want all the members to receive the same information. You don't need to put the same email or the same generic phone number. It will just be irritated directly into the relations. So this is the basic of creating a new lead, connecting the lead to a company, making sure that the minimum required fields are actually present into the CRM. Now, this is the CRM page that you find now. It's very important because you'll find all the key information to trigger a conversation. I think that outbound calls are probably the most important, partly if you're selling funds. So it's important that in the right place, you have the right information to activate the outbound call correctly, and you just deliver sufficient information. That's why you have key information on the top left, which will help you to summarize what you think is the client's top interest. You will also see the best time, the best way to contact, and perhaps the best language to contact with a client. Many of you have clients speaking 2-3 languages, and obviously it's important to make sure that you convey the sales pitch in the right language. Now you will find also the tags, which will be very helpful if you wish to filter some products. Most of you know that the tags also are used with products. So if I click here on actions and related securities, the machine will automatically pre-filter securities based on the client's preferences and the funds tagging. Here we find already some funds and we find share tags, which will help me to actually jump into this specific opportunity of sales. So this is how we use it. Obviously, we can also filter this. So if I just want to see, for example, the funds that can be distributed on the French market, I can use this tag France, and this will specify those related securities with this specific tag. So you see the information comes to you very quickly. Obviously, if I click on the fund, then I will have more information. The information can come from different providers, Bloomberg, Thomson Reuters, Morningstar, Eureka Edge, any types of fund providers, you will find them here with the fact sheets, and also, which is very helpful, a content management tool. The content management tool helps to collect intelligence. So when you're selling a fund, you want to make sure that if you had a good experience or a bad experience in selling the fund, as a sales, you will keep this information somewhere. This is what we call building objection books. Objections are basically a prospect or client telling you, I don't want to hear about this fund. I don't want to hear about what you're telling me. This fund is not interesting to me. Why? Well, the reason why, or the counter arguments you can build to convey and convince, can be stored directly into InvestGlass, into this content management system. So these comments actually will be shared, and all investors, sales into your team will receive notification that a new comment has been added on this specific security. So it will be any managers with a link to this security that will receive a notification that a new comment has been written. So that's very helpful because the knowledge will be transferred with all the sales team in the right way, in a very, I would say, simple manner, but very efficient manner, right? Now, if I go back to the page of the client's CRM, if I want to engage a conversation quickly with the clients, we have access to email and call buttons. This will trigger your Outlook or Gmail email system. And here it will trigger your VoIP or your classical landline system. The objective, obviously, is to make sure that the conversation is recorded if you need to record it, or it's going into an audit trail approved mailing if you need this to be recorded with a number. Here I'm going to call, this opens my VoIP, and I have on the background a new call report page. The new call report page will be very helpful because you'll find all information that needs to be stored when you have financial interactions. Those fields are obviously compliant with MIFID, FIDLEG, LSFIN, and FCA regulations. If fields are needed in the future because you need to document more aspects of this interaction with the clients, obviously InvestGlass team will add them. Here, the idea is to say, I've been talking about, so it's a follow-up. We can say when you contacted the client was satisfied. Okay, so the client would like to know more about next week event. I transmitted the kit. I can also, as you find here, share via email the content of the communication directly to the client. So this is for the Swiss regulation. You can actually share the content of the communication and send automatically a notification with the content to the client. Okay. Securities. So here I can add the security we talked about. I talked about a fund here. Boom. All right. And I can upload some documents. I don't know if I have one here up. All right, let's take this one. Okay, so now I'm going to record this information into the call report page. So all the information, all these interactions are stored into call reports and into the activity summary, into the timeline. You will find the whole information and the whole links to this actual call report. And this is what makes InvestGlass quite unique, is the way we built it in a way that you have a direct link to each piece of information very quickly. So if I want to have an access to the call report, it's one click. If I want to have an access to the document we talked about, it's a second click. And if you want to have an access to the actual security page, it's a third click. So in 3 clicks, you actually have the whole 360 degree information around the fund sales that you promoted to your customer. And that's quite unique because the information is not scattered all around. Now, the client wants to know more about what's going to happen next week. So I'm going to remember to call him tomorrow. So here I can click on this notification. It's Friday. Call the client to invite him for our luncheon, October 18. And I can save this into my calendar. So that's quite helpful because if I would be sick tomorrow, my colleagues can actually look at what I had to do and do it for me. So now into the calendar, I will find it, this event. So if I click here, poof, I found that I have to call Christopher to talk about the luncheon on the 18th, and we will find all the information here. Obviously, this calendar system is very helpful if you wish to automate some events I'm going to show you now. But here the idea is to show you that within one click, you follow up the interaction and done. That's done. Now let's do the next deal. So all the deals, all the opportunities are stored into what we call leads. The lead page is where you will find all your leads, opportunities, and clients. So I can filter this page based on tags, based on managers, based on portfolios, as well as the to-dos, the indicators hot that I have here. So if I filter here and say I want to have a look at the clients that are interested by products I can commercialize in France, and let's say that they have also an indicator that is bullish with a relative strength index that is bullish. Here I have 3 prospects. As you find on the right here, InvestGlass is going also to create relevancy indicators. So this is AI-based, artificial intelligence-based. It will look at the behavior, the frequency that you have to respect in terms of sales to show you which client you have to call or interact with next. How do we know that? Obviously, well, this is based to information such as the contact frequency. So let me show you in this CRM how it works. So here we have some information that is the frequency, the best way to contact. To change this, you go to Action, Edit KYC, and in the contact page, you will find here a frequency of contact. So this means that every 4 days, I have to contact this prospect or this client. If you're selling funds, if you're selling, I would say 1 or 2 products, I strongly advise you to have this frequency of contact. Why? Just to make sure that you keep just sufficient pressure. Too much pressure will be annoying, but just too little will be actually strange because this interaction will be perhaps lost to your competitors. So make sure you have for each prospect, for each client, a frequency of contact that is set up. You can set up the frequency of contact for all clients at once too. And once you actually have done this, the lead page will show you if there's a missing interaction with this specific customer. So now if I want to engage the conversation with them, either I call them from here by clicking on emails or a phone number, and this will trigger my Outlook or my calling system, or I can blast a message with a bulk email. So if I click here, this will blast a message to the 3 customers at once. This is very helpful if you're doing hyper-targeted marketing campaigns on a specific segment. Here, the 3 customers. Now, obviously, if I wish to invite those 3 customers then for a luncheon or for an additional event, you can use the calendar system here and select them for this luncheon. So let me organize this luncheon. Let's say it's a week. Okay. All right. So, okay, on the 10th, I'm going to organize a lunch. Fantastic. I can put the color. Okay. You can also decide to repeat this lunch. So obviously the repeat usually is used when you have, I would say, webinars, for example, and you wish each Monday to invite the same crowd for the same webinar. Here you could say, like, on Mondays, I want to invite a group for a webinar or a luncheon. So let's keep this on none. Then I can share it into a portal. So this is a very elegant way to exchange with prospects or clients invitation and to offer them a portal access. I'll show you how this looks like. It's also a way to invite prospects without revealing his real email. This is more when you're caring about anonymous invitations, for example. So now I'm going to invite 3 clients to this luncheon. All right, and then I click on create. So customers are going to receive some invitations. Here I see in orange my luncheon on the luncheon details. Now, how does this appears? Well, this will appear as a simple email with my logo, and each customer will see it. It's also a way, as I told you, to share into the portal this invitation. So the portal of InvestGlass is a fully customizable e-banking engagement portal. As you will see, I'm going to log here. We don't see this InvestGlass. Each customer of yours can have an access to this portal. And here you see a 1 pointing that is a new event. And obviously, it's the macro lunch that we find here. Here we see the attendees. There's also an option where you don't see the attendees. So it's a completely anonymous invitation for all the attendees. So this is the way you actually build a campaign and then blast a message to the clients. And when you blasted the message, you blast an invitation. The clients can then come and say, well, we had an amazing lunch. Now, the question is, how are you going to capture something more than we had an amazing lunch and the food was great? Let's go back to the CRM. And I'm going to create a core report now for 3 people. So here, one for Eddie, one for Christopher, and one for this mysterious DAB. All right. So follow up. And here, obviously, you can put different information, how much time you spent, what was the cost of the lunch, etc., etc., etc. And then I'm just going to click on save. And this is going to create a core report for the 3 customers at once. So this is very handy because in most CRMs, you will need to actually do this 3 times. So here I have the comment for the client DAB, then I have the client for Christopher, then I have the call report for Christopher, then I have the call report for Eddie Wong. So you save time, you're faster, you're more efficient, and you capture the client's interest in the right way, making sure that what you actually presented them is relevant. Obviously, once you have all these engagements, you can use also InvestGlass to measure the engagement level with the activity summary. So here with the activity summary, I can see what is the level of engagement. And obviously, what I could do then is to filter based on one specific product or one specific emitter, manufacturer, what are the interactions I have around this product. So that's a very handy way to exchange information and to make sure that when you are into the sales process, you're going to engage in the right way with the right information, and what you say and what you sell is impacting the sales. So this is the key feature for the fund sales. In another webinar, we will focus on the monitoring part and on the numbers that you can produce out of InvestGlass. But obviously, what is important first is to get out there, to talk to customers, to share information, to give phone calls, to invite them for lunch, to send them relevant information. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar presenting InvestGlass sales part. There are many other things to discover into InvestGlass. So if you have any questions, contact us. Send us an email at contact@investglass.com, contact@investglass.com. And I wish you a fantastic October, and go and get them.